Over a century after Aegon's conquest, the House of the Dragon stands on a precipice. King Viserys has named his daughter, Rhaenyra, his heir, but many push for his newborn son Aegon to take her place. The king's brother, Daemon Targaryen, known as the Rogue Prince, has conquered the Stepstones with the aid of the sea snake, Corlys Velaryon. And in the far south of Westeros, the Dornish prince tasks his most brave and valiant warrior with an impossible task. Lord Tion Dayne, the Sword of the Morning, travels in disguise to the Isle of Dragonstone. He scours the island for 7 days and 7 nights before he finds his quarry, a dragon with scales as grey as the morning mist. Drawing his ancestral sword Dawn, Tion approaches the wary dragon. However, rather than attempting to slay the beast, he plants his sword in the dirt and approaches. Knowing he could easily be engulfed by the dragon's flame, Lord Dayne does not waver. The dragon does not flee, nor does it burn the bold knight of the dawn. Instead, for whatever unfathomable reason, it accepts the man as its rider, changing the course of history forever. Hello Wanderers, welcome to a brand new Crusader Kings 3 Game of Thrones roleplay series with the long-awaited Dragon update. And who is our character, who is our hero, our protagonist of this new playthrough? Well, it is none other than Lord Tion Dayne, the Sword of the Morning. Now, I am a big fan of House Dayne. I know that a lot of you in the comments are too, and I had a lot of difficulties choosing who we were going to play here, but I settled on this because I think it is most interesting and is going to lead to a lot of really cool scenarios, hopefully in the future of this campaign. Now, you guys will have seen the intro, so you will know that Lord Tion Dayne is in fact a dragon rider, and this playthrough is going to get a little bit ahistorical. I mean, it already is with having a Dane dragon rider. But hopefully this, explanation makes sense. I think that if anybody were to be able to tame a dragon that isn't a Targaryen, that's not descended from the Targaryens, it's gonna be a Sword of the Morning of House Dayne. I mean, come on. That is, those guys are as close as you get to the most epic and most cool characters as possible. So the dragon that we have tamed is Grey Ghost. Now, we're gonna take a look at Grey Ghost in just a minute. But first, we're going to take a look at our main character here. So, who is Lord Tion, the Sword of the Morning? Well, he is a man who is just, brave, temperate, and patient. Now, these are all traits that go into making a good knight and a good Sword of the Morning. You'll remember, or those of you who know Game of Thrones well, know that the title of the Sword of the Morning and the wielder of the ancestral sword Dawn, it doesn't just get passed down from father to son. It is only gifted or given to the greatest knights and the most honorable knights of House Dayne. So it's not that every lord of House Dayne is a Sword of the Morning. Indeed, many generations can pass before somebody worthy of wielding this sword can come about. And so you can see here the description. Dawn is the fabled sword of House Dayne. The huge greatsword has a blade as pale as a milk glass and a golden star decorating the hilt. Legends state that a falling star was tracked by the founder of House Dayne to the mouth of the Torrentine at the site which would later be named Starfall. Dawn was forged from the heart of this star and has been wielded by the worthiest members of House Dayne ever since. So this is a storied weapon. In fact, House Dayne is one of the most ancient houses in all of Westeros. It's even theorized that House Dayne may have come here before even the First Men. Others say that House Dayne is a First Men house, But there is speculation that they may have been here even before the first men, or they may have come from a different peoples. I mean, as you can see with our main character here, we have the silver, pale silver hair and purple eyes of a Valyrian. But George R. R. Martin has stated that House Dayne, even though they have the purple eyes and the pale hair of Valyrians, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are descended from Valyrians. So there's some interesting theories about the origins of House Dayne and whether they are connected to the Valyrians, despite what George R. R. Martin says, or if there's something more to it. We might get into some of those theories. If you have any of your own theories, be sure to post them in the comments below. But yeah, the origins of House Dayne are very ancient and honored and storied, and the heroes known as the Swords of the Morning are some of the most heroic members of House Dayne. In fact, if we go back far enough here, let's just see if we can trace our way up to one of those most story members. Here we have Vorian, the Sword of the Evening of House Dayne. Now, I believe, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Vorian, the Sword of the Evening, was the last House Dayne king who ruled the Torrentine, which are the lands here at the mouth of the Torrentine River. Vorian here, the Sword of the Evening, was the last king of there before Nymeria came and conquered Dorne. So, and I assume that is when he went and became a member of the Night's Watch. I mean, you can take a look. I mean, obviously, this guy was also a Sword of the Morning during his time as well, but, took the Night's Watch and then became the Sword of the Evening. I believe that, I don't know if it was his son Darian here or another. I may be getting him a little bit mixed up, but one of the members of House Dayne actually ended up marrying Nymeria, although he didn't have his children didn't end up taking over from Nymeria. It was actually the House Martell that ended up ruling. But anyways, if you want to go and look up House Dayne, I'll try to remember to leave a link to the wiki in the description below, because they have a really interesting history, and there's a lot going on with that. But in any case, we are also skilled tactician, blade master, forest fighter, a knight, of course, trained fighter. So we're not actually an amazing warrior. We're just an excellent and chivalrous and gallant knight, and that is how we earn the title Sword of the Morning. It's not necessarily that you have to be the greatest warrior. You just have to be the worthiest knight of House Dayne. So that's our character. Now we're going to go and get into what you're all waiting for and what you're all here for, the dragons. Yeah, I mean, they are awesome. The mod team has done an incredible job with the dragons. I mean, look at the models here. I'll show you some of the other ones in just a moment. I mean, you can take a look here, at all the other dragons during this time, many of which you will have seen in the House of the Dragon show. But here we've got Grey Ghost. Now, Grey Ghost is a wild dragon, or in the books and in the stories, it is a wild dragon that is never tamed because it's so shy. It's always avoiding people. And so nobody has ever managed to tame Grey Ghost. Grey Ghost is eventually killed. Some suspect it was the dragon Cannibal that killed him, but it was actually the dragon Sunfire. Sunfire was the one that actually ended up killing Grey Ghost here. So that's kind of the historical Grey Ghost. Obviously, things have gotten a bit ahistorical, considering that Lord Tion here has now tamed this notoriously shy dragon. But, we want to play with some of the features of the dragons here. And I think that our story does make sense. Like I said, if anybody can do it, it's going to be a Sword of the Morning. So let's take a look at our dragon, because the dragons are very cool and have a lot of different things going on, things that you will not have seen anywhere else in the game other than in this mod. So they have unique traits here. So, for example, calculating increases our combat effectiveness taming chance, temperament. A patient beast, Grey Ghost prefers to battle with his moves well planned and focused. He's a skittish creature. Tendency to run from conflict, but also solitary. So Draconic Dread, taming chance goes down. So yeah, this is not like the most sociable dragon. It is a feral dragon, so it grew up alone in harsh environments. So it's pretty wild, but it is also tame. So we have managed to tame it. You can see that the dragons have their own stats here: dragon size, combat effectiveness, draconic dread, and temperament. So yeah, all of this is unique. All of this is gonna play a part in this story anyways. So as you will have seen in the intro, Tion, Lord Tion here, at the behest of his lord, his liege, Prince Corin Martell, traveled to Dragonstone in secret, spent many days there hunting down a dragon, but rather than kill it, he tamed this dragon, and that is in order to protect Dorne from the Seven Kingdoms, from the Iron Throne, from the Targaryens, because Dorne has been attacked many times by the Seven Kingdoms, and they have managed to fend them off. They even slew one of the Conqueror's dragons, Aegon the Conqueror's dragons. I believe it was Rhaenyra's. Might be messing the names up. Actually, we probably don't even have to go that far back to get to King Aegon the Conqueror here. Indeed, Princess Rhaenys, that's it. So Princess Rhaenys was the one who was slain in Brimstone. Her dragon was, I don't think we see it here. Can't quite remember the name of her dragon. Somebody can leave it in the comments below. We can also go and look that up as well if we go in, because we can see the grandparents and all the siblings here. So I believe Nessarion and Agaros. Oh, this Volon, Vadar. We got all these dragons here. Vermithrax. Yeah, I mean, you can go through the entire history of here. Balerion, the Black Dread. But look at this thing. I mean, massive, massive dragon. Bloodthirsty, imperious, cooperative, calculating. This thing was tyrannic Leviathan. There's all these really, really interesting traits. Obviously, Balerion, the Black Dread, its last rider, none other than King of Viserys the Magnificent here. So we're going to get into all this stuff. If you've watched House of the Dragon, you'll recognize all these characters. We've got Viserys, we've got Alicent, you know, we've got Aegon here, the second Aegon, his twin sister Helena in this timeline here. But then, of course, we've also got Princess Rhaenyra here, the Realm's Delight, the Half-Year Queen. You know, all these characters you'll recognize. Obviously, you're going to recognize Daemon, the Rogue Prince. Badass. I was very tempted to play Daemon in this playthrough. But, you know, I decided to go a little bit outside the box. You'll see already by this point, we've let a little bit of time pass in the scenario already. So Daemon has already conquered the Stepstones. His wife, Rhea Royce, the Bronze Bitch, is dead, murdered by Prince Daemon. It seems like a lot of people suspect that he was behind it, but he is now married, as he was in canon, to Elena Velaryon. And yeah, I mean, we're going to see what happens. Will Daemon, you know, return to the fold just like he does in canon and swear fealty to Viserys once more, his brother? Or will he go on to conquer the Stepstones? And, well, he's already conquered the Stepstones, but the three daughters, that conflict is still yet to be resolved, I believe. So, going to be some interesting things there. Yeah, like I said, you'll recognize all of these characters. I believe that Viserys even has, you know, his canonical Hand of the King. If we take a look here, yeah, Otto Hightower, the Hand of the King. This is obviously the father of Queen Alicent the Fair Tower. All these characters, very recognizable. They're all in here. So it's going to be an interesting scenario. Are we going to get a Dance of the Dragons when Rhaenyra inherits? Potentially. I suppose we'll see. You'll see that she is also betrothed, not to Laenor Velaryon, as she is in the books, but to Daemon Velaryon. So this is the son of Sir Vaemond, the Silver Seahorse. In the show, Vaemond is the brother of Corlys, but canonically, I believe, he is actually the nephew of Corlys, the sea snake. So anyways, I know I've just gone on and ranted a lot about all of this stuff, but yeah, like I said, the dragons are really, really fascinating, really cool. We'll see what can happen with them. You can take a look at some of the other traits they have, like impulsive, imperious. They can be a noble dragon, majestic. Let's take a look at some other ones. Silverwing here. We've got accepting, cooperative, friendly, another noble dragon, fertile, very fertile. A dragon that will produce many dragon eggs. So yeah, this is really cool. I'm curious to see if we are going to get into any dragon battles or anything like that. It might be a little bit of time before we get into some dragon battles, but we'll see how that all plays out in the future. One of the new interesting interactions that we can do with our dragon is we can deepen bond with your dragon. Now, as a dragon rider, you get this unique dragon rider fame trait that allows you to do dragon training and dragon bond. I don't know what most of these do. I have not played around with the mod all that much, but we are going to start this scheme because we've only recently tamed Grey Ghost. It's only been a little while. I imagine that we are keeping this somewhat secret as possible anyways, so as not to antagonize the Iron Throne. I'm sure that people are going to figure it out eventually. You know, word's going to get out. But considering the position of Dorne, you know, we might be able to keep it secret for a while. So the Iron Throne might consider this a provocation that somebody from Dorne has gone and stolen a dragon. But the Iron Throne has attacked Dorne many times before. So I think from a Dornish perspective, you know, if the Iron Throne's going to try to conquer us anyways, we might as well try to even the odds as much as possible. And so the only lord who was willing and brave enough to go on this mission is Tion Dayne, the Sword of the Morning. So yeah, really cool character. Very excited to do this playthrough. And yeah, let's get time rolling here. We'll take a look at some of the other characters and things like that as we go along, such as our young grandson, Aaron Dayne. This is the son of our eldest son, Lord Edric the Rothstar. You can see he's a little bit different than us. Brave, wrathful, ambitious, honest. He is more of a diplomatic character, but still a skilled fighter. Is he a worthy wielder of Dawn? Not really. I mean, and he won't even accept it anyways. You'll only give Dawn to those who are worthy. Like I said, only the worthiest knights of House Dayne can hold that sword. So we're going to be educating our son Aaron Dayne ourselves. Hopefully he will become a worthy wielder of the sword Dawn. Now, one thing that I'd like to do here and kind of point out, obviously this character, we're playing an honorable knightly character. I know we play these types of characters a lot, you know, a warrior, essentially a good aligned character. I still think this is going to be an interesting playthrough, but consider that for all the goodness and, you know, chivalry that Lord Tion has, our son, Lord Edric, if we end up playing as him, is certainly cut of a different cloth. He's a more ambitious character. He is not somebody who is going to, you know, sit idly by and, you know, simply, you know, bow to the Prince of Dorne. He might have some future plans, but for now, we're playing as Lord Tion, and he is an honorable character. So what we are going to do, now that we've tamed our dragon, and you know, we can bring this this honor to our liege, we're going to go and demonstrate our submission to the Lord of Dorne. Now, I think that we might want to hit up some of these places along the way. to get some martial lifestyle experience. So we're going to go here. After Skyreach, we'll probably, yeah, we're already going to hit that. Let's probably go here. And then we're going to get a couple more on the way. We want to get this one as well. So there we go. And then on the way home, is there anything worth hitting up here? Let's see. Brimstone Hall, martial lifestyle. We might as well, on the way home, come and get all of this experience as well. So we're going to go here and hit up some of these places. A little bit of danger here. Looks like it's mostly from desert. So if we hire ourselves a desert warrior, there we go. Not too much danger there. It's not going to cost too much, and we're going to get a bunch of experience from this. So we are going to head over to Dorne, or we're going to head over to Sunspear here, and we're going to go and pay homage to our liege. One thing I'd also like to do is create a loyalist faction here. This is probably not going to last very long. You'll see why. Because part of our plans... oh, there we go. Look at this. So we've already selected the chivalry focus here because Sword of the Morning. And, you know, because we're playing a 40-year-old character, we've already unlocked most of these things. So we can already get the Gallant trait, which is perfect here because that's going to increase our prowess even more. So yeah, I mean, Gallant is a great trait. Martial +2, prowess +4, prestige, attraction, opinion, all these nice things. So there we go. We get a little event here on our journey. It's not the first time I catch my caravan leader, Valerian, fiddling around with some flower he's been picking along the road. Sometimes I'd swear I even hear him sighing, overlooking Great Crest's holding. My liege, oh, this guy's already found. Our caravan master and acclaimed knight has found love. We're not going to start a romance scheme against her. Well, we'll invite her to court, I suppose. Yeah, why not? It's fine. The two of them can, you know, whatever. Well, you guys can get married even. There you go. Look how good of a lord we are. There we go. Traveling through the God's Eye. Sand Dornish women. I have seen the world and beheld its many wonders in my travel, but never have I seen such beauties as the one seen in Plum Fork. Truly, Sand Dornish women are a cut above the rest. Do we get a paramour? No. We're too honorable. We are too honorable for that. We have a wife. Alas, I cannot give my love so freely. Ooh, but a duel is demanded, an imposing man standing on the road before us. I mean, sure, we can fight him. I mean, lose some stress, we gain this guy into our court. It's fine. I mean, we see this event all the time. Ah, and here we go. We get our event here. Bonding with Grey Ghost, visiting hours. After my last visit with Grey Ghost, I was struck and dismayed by his seeming inability to distinguish between me and the attendants that bring his food, as if I, the Lord of Starfall, were no different than a servant. Although my duties as Lord of Torrentine consume most of my days, it might be worthwhile to set aside more time to visit with Grey Ghost. There is, however, such risk to such an approach, not only the obvious danger of spending more time in close proximity with such a vicious predator, but also the risk that Grey Ghost could bristle at my overeager, heavy-handed presence during this sensitive stage of our relationship. Ooh, 56% chance. Daily visitations. I think we're gonna try it. Let's see how it plays out. I'm not sure if that was successful or not. I don't think it said if we did or not. So let's assume that it... Oh, hey, look at this. Much as my boyhood teachers shaped me into the man I am today, and in so doing earned my appreciation, so too have my efforts to be a more regular part of Grey Ghost's care earned me a modicum of the dragon's respect. Whereas even a month ago, he would have treated me no different than any other of the porters that bring his meat in and soiled straw out. I think he now sees me in a better light. While far from affectionate, Grey Ghost watches me more closely, can discern my voice from those of my companions, and will even allow me to touch his neck during feedings. Day by day, I will earn his obedience. Begin riding exercises proves useful. Nice. We can also, and here you see we have arrived in Sunspear, and we are ushered into Prince Corin's Great Hall, where he sits on his throne awaiting my pledge. I kneel at the feet of my lord and pledge the many oaths of homage as his scribes record the event. With that, the ceremony is complete. We offer to faithfully serve as a vassal of the Principality of Dorne. Corin bids me to arise and confirms his satisfaction along with my lands, with my rights to the lands I rule in his stead. Now, one thing that we want to do here while we are in Dorne is you can see Prince Corin here is not married, but we have an option for that. And indeed, that is our daughter, Ashara Dayne. I think that this is a suitable match. I mean, he can't really get a better match than the daughter of his dragon-riding lord of House Dayne. So I think we will propose this here while we are speaking to him here in Dorne. I think that's going to be pretty cool. Hail to the prince. And now we can return home. As we traverse the desert, trudging through the sand, we encounter a modest wayward shrine, naively carved. It sports a 7-pointed star at its head below the weathered words, "Here lies Saint Dora of Sunspear, blessed daughter of Dragon." Saint Dora of Sunspear? Who is this? Cast down this heterodoxy? Desecrated tome? I mean, we can patronize this local saint. Sure, Prince Doran would appreciate it. Popular opinion. Yeah, you know what? Let's do this. Seems like the honorable thing to do. And there we go. Greetings, my implacable vassal. I gladly accept your betrothal proposition. I will graciously take the hand of your daughter, Ashara, when the time comes. Excellent. Journeying through Greenwash, I pass by a peculiar-looking tent, splayed open with its yet more peculiar-looking occupant inside. Come in, O mighty lord. I can tell you have many miles to go, and I can offer you a reading of your future travels. For a modest price. Let's see here. Come on, just want to move this. The strange man has piqued the interest of my entourage, but am I willing to pay for a reading? It doesn't cost that much. Come experience the future with me. I mean, this guy's got some good traits. He's 76 years old, but let's just bring this old man with me. You know, perhaps he can tell us of some interesting things along this way. Oh, look at this. Our son is already swaying things against us. We're going to talk about that in a little bit here once we get home. The procession has ground to a halt a stone's throw away from Peltwash. I look over to see my knight Tamlin dismounted and intently staring at something on the ground. My lord, there's an ant path here. I may be a tad suspicious, but you should never cross an ant path. My great-grandmother did, and she never returned home. This is nonsense. I'll take over as guide. We're going to do that. We are a competent guide. We're not going to, halt ourselves for an ant path. We're going to keep going here. Boom, getting some experience here. Oh, we became best friends with Robert Strongarm. We're going to show you some of these side characters in just a moment here. But after he must have helped us out here at the Prince's Court here. Look at this, gaining all this experience here. Our journey is violently erupted by the sound of a tearing flesh and gnashing jaws, the desperate cries of a man about to meet his end. The noise is so horrific, it must have come from the depths of the Seven Hells. Attempting to track the source, we find a desperate knight struggling with a wild stag. This man deserves my help. Okay, I mean, yeah, I guess we're gonna try to do it ourselves. Oh, we were mauled by the stag. Ouch, that's unfortunate. So, we tried to do the honorable thing. Unfortunately, we were mauled. We were injured here. We'll see if we get some scars from that. Man, our son is he's just turning the scales against us, but he is a man who, he wants power. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to do something against us, but he does love us. He just wants power. What the duck? There's a duck. Follow that duck. That's a good omen, we'll say. Sure. We're not going to just go following a duck around. Long last, I'm finally home. There we go. We gained some more martial lifestyle experience. Excellent. We can go inside once again. Gently mooing, the scent of the manure aren't all Starfall's hillside pasturelands have to offer. There's also screaming farmhands, a stentorian bellowing, and an escaped bull on the road before us. The behemoth charges to and fro until it fixes on a victim bastion atop his panicking steed. There's an open gate to hold the beast behind. One of us just needs the courage enough to lure it. Bullfighter. I mean, 100% chance of success, so we're probably gonna do this. And we're brave, so yeah, you know what? We're gonna do it here. 0% chance we get maimed, so yeah, there we go. Captured. We gain Bullfighter for 10 years. Damn straight. I mean, we are the Sword of the Morning. We are a brave and honorable knight, which is pretty cool. There we go. Regency ended. Good try, my son, but, you know, we're back home, and, you know, the power is ours now. Now, as we do return home, we are going to take a look at our council. Obviously, we have our wife, Lady Danelle, as one of the members of our council here. And we also have our son as our Castellan, essentially, you know, the highest member of our council here. Makes a lot of sense. He's our son and heir. We're going to put him in that position. We have a few other children. Lord Gerald of Radiant Cliffs here. Not really you know, look at his traits here. Deceitful, content, impatient. Then we've also got Robin Dayne, our third son. Gluttonous, fickle, sadistic, craven. And then our daughter here, humble but callous. All of our children are kind of disappointments to the Honorable Lord Tion. It's kind of unfortunate that they've turned out that way, but it is what it is. There's not much we can do about it at this point. But those are our children. Like I said, Aaron Dayne is the only one of our grandchildren here. He is betrothed, and we're going to take a look at that in a second. But I do want to show you some of these other characters first. Now, we do have a number of council member characters this season. If you guys want to have side characters in this season, if you watched the last season, you'll remember characters like Malric and Val and Dorian Ghost and, of course, Evitho and the many other counselor characters that we've had. If you want to get characters in the series, all you need to do is sign up to the YouTube membership at the counselor level or over on Patreon. You can get your own characters just like these ones in the series. No guarantees that they will live, no guarantees that they will play a huge role, but there's a chance. I mean, look at Evitho in last season. He was a badass. So, yeah, there's a chance. So let's take a look at our first character here. Sir Ricaris Whiteblood. Now, this is a Westerosi Valyrian man who hails from he has blood of supposedly Targaryen blood. That's not necessarily confirmed or not, but he does have some Valyrian blood, but also Northern blood as well. So he's a bit of a mongrel here. You can see, take a look at his traits. Ambitious, just, but compassionate. He is a diplomatic man, but also skilled with a blade as well. He's pretty quick, relatively, you know, well-built and strong. Albino as well, which is interesting. You know, capable fighter, though he does have that passion for it. And of course, he is knighted as well. So Sir Ricaris Whiteblood, he is our current chancellor and our court chronicler. So we're going to see what this character brings us in this story here. He is also married here to Milla, who is a Lyseni woman, and hopefully they will have some children that will continue that lineage down. The next character we have here is Alan the Bodkin Yu. Now, House Yu is a historical, canonical house in Game of Thrones. As you can see, we can pop over to Alan's father here, and that is Lord Lyman Forthrain, or Lord Lyman of Forthane. House Yu, interesting house, worshippers of the Wirewood of the Seven. Alan is the third son, so, you know, he wasn't going to inherit anything. And so basically the story of Alan here is that he was a skilled hunter. He was an archer. I believe he went during a time of conflict between House Blackwood and House Bracken. He actually ended up basically allying with House, going into the service of House Blackwood against House Bracken for a time. And I believe it was after that that he was essentially not necessarily ended up like as a bandit, but he kind of ended up on the run. And yeah, whatever the reasons for that, he's an honorable man, and so he ended up somehow or other in Dorne, and he ended up in the service of Lord Tion Dayne here, because as you can see, yeah, he is a pretty decent man. Brave, patient, stubborn, temperate. But yeah, he's a hunter. He's a skilled, trained warrior here. He actually wields the yew bow, which is the ancestral bow of his family here. I'm sure his family probably wants it back, but he's on the run, so you'll notice he's got the heterochromia trait that is new in the Dragon update, or new in one of the recent updates anyways. So yeah, very interesting character here, Alan Yu. So he is our steward, as you can see, and hopefully he will do a good job on that. We've currently got him increasing development because we would like to get Starfall up there in development. You can see Dorne, not a particularly developed place. It's a desert, basically. So really the only developed areas are here at the mouth of the Greenblood. And then we've got a little bit here in Ironwood. I don't know if it's pronounced Ironwood or Ironwood. Ironwood? Somebody can correct me in the comments below. I always call it Ironwood, but it might just be Ironwood. Who knows, honestly. But like I said, yeah, there's a little bit of development there. Hellholt's got a little bit of development, and then Starfall as well. We'd like to increase that because we want to make Starfall, as close to as we can to one of the more developed areas, just for the future playthrough. But yeah, Dorne does not compare to, the Westerlands, the Reach, the Crownlands, even the Riverlands and Stormlands and the Vale have a lot more development than Dorne does. Kind of comparable to the North, but the North is just way bigger. So, and yeah, nowhere near the development that we see in Essos. So yeah, we want to get our development up, and that's why we've got Alan Yu dealing with that. He's also our Master of Hunt, of course. Makes a lot of sense. He's a pretty good hunter. The next character we're going to take a look at, Lord Connery here. This is not a council member character. This is just a one of our kind of static lords here, but he needs to fill the position, and he's a capable warrior. We'll see if he survives or if he gets supplanted by one of you. I mean, if one of you wants to take over as our marshal, like I said, sign up at the counselor tier level, and you could be our new marshal potentially here. We'll see. We've got other characters that might fill in that position. Now, here's an interesting character, Bella Blackmont. Now, you might wonder why an honorable man like Tion, the Sword of the Morning, has a woman like this in his council, a lustful, craven, patient seductress here, paramour. This is, you can kind of get a sense of this woman here. She is a bastard daughter, or the daughter of a concubine of Lord Bernard of Blackmont. Traditional enemies of House Dayne, I believe. But she has somehow ended up here. The reason why she's on our council is because of Lord Edric. Now, we don't see it here, I don't believe, but Bella Blackmont is actually the lover of Lord Edric the Rothstar. And so because of the importance that Lord Edric has on our council, he has managed to basically get Bella Blackmont here onto the council. So, this is, like I said, we're playing as Tion, but our son here has his own thing going on. He has his own plans, and we're going to see a little bit more of those shortly as well. But before that, we're going to go to our last character here, which is Lymond Lowstone, actually second last character. Lymond, Sir Lymond here is a member technically of the Hightower dynasty. He is a son of Otto Hightower, a bastard son. Now, you will probably know if you've watched House of the Dragon that Sir Otto Hightower is the brother of the current Lord of House Hightower, and his wife died. He had several children, including, of course, Queen Alicent. It's fairly established, I would say, that Otto did love his wife, Alarie Florent. But Sir Lymond here is a bastard who was born from before Sir Otto married his wife. So, a young dalliance when he was a kid, probably, who knows how it ended up happening. But he ended up sleeping with a woman, maybe a common-born woman, maybe a minor noble woman. We're not really sure. Lymond doesn't really like to talk about it. That's why we don't know who his mother was. But it's fairly well established that he is the son of Otto Hightower here. So technically a bastard brother to Queen Alicent. But he is authoritative, brave, ambitious. He's a skilled fighter, rough terrain expert, military engineer, bastard, of course. He's a knight. He's loyal, berserker. He gets a bloodlust in him when he goes into battle. And he's strong, and he is a skilled fighter. Now, Sir Lymond has a long story, a long backstory to him. But to shorten it up and to, give you the main points, at some point he ended up, I believe, as a member of the Gold Cloaks, and then he ended up coming with Daemon to the Stepstones. Now, during the war in the Stepstones, Dorne did get involved on the side of the three daughters, fighting against Daemon and Corlys Velaryon. During that battle, Lymond here, I believe, ended up in single combat against Lord Tion and was able to hold his own. Tion did end up defeating him, but he was so impressed with Sir Lymond's skill in combat and his honor that he actually knighted Lymond and took him into his service. And that is how Sir Lymond ended up in our service. Now, Lymond actually also has a squire here, and you can see his squire is Robert Storm, the Strong Arm. This is a young kind of bastard from the Stormlands here. How he ended up in the service of Lymond Lowstone, hard to say. Possibly he was, with the, a young camp follower, squire, with the armies that went with Daemon. Either way, he ended up serving as the squire to Sir Lymond here. He's an ambitious kid, diligent, stubborn, a bit rowdy. You can see he's robust, he's strong, skilled fighter. So he's going to end up being a pretty decent fighter when he grows up. Now, there is actually one last character we want to take a look at, and that is Daeron Blackshield. Now, Daeron is from a minor noble house, or a minor family, but fairly well known among the common folk. Daeron Blackshield himself was a man who had a gift for diplomacy, a gift for brokering peace and making deals between those in the region, and that brought him to the attention of Tion, the Sword of the Morning here, who brought him into his court as his seneschal. So he administers our household. You can see here he's a lusty man, compassionate, diligent, gregarious. He is a charismatic negotiator. He's contrite, though. He's got a guilty conscience. Why? hard to say. But he is known as the Black Shield. He was raised up to, minor nobility here as House Black Shield. Basically a hedge knight. In fact, I think we can potentially offer knighthood to him here. Let's see if he accepts. He has earned that. There we go. Yeah, so he's knighted. So he's now Sir Darren Black Shield. Now he can truly call himself, a minor noble. He's just a sir, he's just a knight, but he's provided good service for Tion in the last few years, and so he's our seneschal, and those are our important characters from Grey Ghost all the way down to Darren Blackshield. Hopefully, we'll see some of them play some important roles, but that remains to be seen. So what's going to happen in this campaign? What are our goals? What do we want to do? What kind of story do we want to tell? Well, I mean, obviously we want to play around with these dragon mechanics. We would love to get potentially more dragon riders in our household, but that's going to be pretty difficult because Grey Ghost here is a male dragon, which means we are not going to be getting any dragon eggs from him. That's going to make things really difficult because, even if, our son, when we die, if Edric or one of our other sons can tame Grey Ghost, we're still not going to get any dragon eggs. So there is a decision here, which you can see is become a dragon rider house. I believe you need this in order to do things like build dragon pits and do some of the other types of things, but you need 5 or more living members of your house to be dragon riders. That's going to be really difficult to achieve. So, how are we going to pull that off? I mean, that's a good question. Now, one thing that we have done and that our son has done, Lord Edric here, he's an ambitious man. Even though Dorne fought against Daemon here and lost, frankly. Daemon did take over the Stepstones. Our son has gone and made a deal with the Rogue Prince. And as you can see, King Daemon here has a daughter, a bastard daughter, with his lover Mysaria, the White Worm. Historically, Mysaria is not able to have children, or at least that's how it is in the show. But in the game, she has, and they've had a bastard daughter. Well, our son has arranged for his son, Aaron Dayne, to be betrothed to Lyanne here, who actually holds a dragon egg. You'll remember in House of the Dragon. I know I'm going to recall House of the Dragon a lot. Some of you guys love the show. Some of you guys hate the show. Some of you guys don't mind it, I guess, are in the middle. I enjoyed it. So, if you'll remember in, I believe it's episode 2, Daemon steals an egg to give to his supposed daughter that he's having with Mysaria. That's all made up. But in this timeline, imagine that isn't all made up. Imagine that he actually does have a daughter and that he does steal that dragon egg and gives it to her to have in the cradle. Very interesting possibilities there. So this is essentially my way of trying to give us at least an extra chance of having more dragon riders in the family. I'm hoping that Aaron will become a dragon rider and that his wife Lyanne from House Targaryen will have a dragon rider. That'll give us some Targaryen blood, which helps when it comes to dragon riding because of the way that the mod works. You'll probably see a little bit more of that later on in the playthrough. But having the Targaryen blood, having dragon riders in the family is all going to give bonuses to our family when they try to tame dragons. So this is essentially us giving ourselves at least a chance of having like a true dragon riding House Dayne here. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. But like, for example, we have an event right here, though it seems, though it is at times pleasant to forget it, to pretend that they can be as obedient as the best hound, dragons are, in the end, still predators. My concerns have been mounting that Grey Ghost is growing increasingly frustrated by the monotony of his captivity and that is training our tenuous bond. Though I am sure it would be a poor substitute for the joy of a true hunt, I am considering releasing several pigs or sheep into his lair. I imagine that he's probably like living in like some cave up here in the mountains. You can see that we're actually building a castle here in the Violet Rift. I bet you that that is a castle that is going to be formed where, you know, our dragon is going to be laired up. While I've been working to break a ghost of his more violent tendencies, perhaps some live support would be appreciated. Okay, we could release some sheep. 60% chance. Okay. Lure a team of hogs into his lair. I think we're gonna try it. Fed live pig. What does this do? Does this give us a better bonus? Oh, I see. This just costs more. It's the chances are the same. I don't think we really need to increase this too much, but we're gonna try it here. Let's see how the event goes. Hopefully we'll find some success here. Good question. Ah, my wound is healed. Perfect. I'm glad for that. Would suck if we got infected and died in our first, you know, first like session of playing the wings. Oh, okay. Haha, look at this. Nice. The hunt has exceeded my expectations. Rather than simply kill his prey, Grey Ghost has made a wonderful game of it. Though the animals pose no real threat to him, Grey Ghost takes his time stalking the group, identifying the weakest member before seizing it in his jaws and retreating. The cycle repeats for more than an hour until Grey Ghost finishes, by which time the ground is coated in viscera and Grey Ghost's tail is swishing with pleasure. His thirst for excitement and blood quenched, Grey Ghost allows me to draw far closer than usual and even permits me to bring his bucket of water, which he greedily guzzles. We are both wild at heart, we say. There we go. Nice. 100% chance this is going to work out too. Wings of War. The realm may be at peace for now, but I know that will not last forever. In such a world as this, it is only a matter of time before war comes to my doorstep. I must be prepared for such an eventuality, and I think Grey Ghost can help. In war, information is key, and when war comes, we may not have time to gather it. I could get ahead of this problem, taking Grey Ghost out to chart my realm, aiding us in our future conflicts. Of course, I could also focus on training with Grey Ghost, ensuring our own competence in battle should the need arise. Charted Realm from Dragonback or Grey Ghost we train. I do want to gain that training experience. I think we need it. So that's the option we're going to take there. Let's see how our... Oh yeah, there we go. Halfway to level 1 of dragon training. So yeah, I mean, things are going pretty well. Unworthy challenge. Alba wants to fight us. Okay. I'll strike her down where she stands now. This peasant and my soldiers will get a lecture on honor. Indeed, they will get a lecture on honor. So yeah, as I was saying, what is our goal for this campaign? Well, I'm interrupted again. Bonding with Grey Ghost. We'll get to our goal in a moment here. I take my morning porridge out beside my balcony, where I behold a brilliant blue sky with nary a cloud in sight. Something in me knows that this is not a day to be spent idly inside my castle or on the streets of Starfall. It is as if the Father has made today for a singular purpose, flight. And yet I feel cautious. Grey Ghost's last several flights have not gone well. Over the past few moon turns, he has on occasion chosen to selectively ignore those commands he finds inconvenient, commands that are usually related to me trying to avoid falling to my death. Still, more writing time could improve both our rapport and Grey Ghost's willingness to heed my commands. It is such a magnificent day. Oh yeah, we obviously have to go and do this riding exercise. 100% chance anyways. So yeah, absolutely, we are going to go training. Grey Ghost greets me almost eagerly as I enter his lair, clutching a saddle. Clearly, I am not the only one yearning for the skies. With uncommon agreeableness, he allows me to attach the saddle and mount him. With a nod to my attendants, we step out into the open air. As soon as we are clear of the last gates, Grey Ghost leaps into the air, relishing the freedom. With each beat of his wings, we soar higher and higher until my castle is but a distant splotch of color below. He is in rare form today, and under my reins, Grey Ghost feels as swift as the legendary Nessarion and as powerful as the infamous Terrax. Soaring amidst the heavens, the wind rushes past, lifting hair and spirit alike as the world unfolds below. Against the backdrop of the cloudless sky, our bond grows even stronger. Look at this. Tion is destined to be a dragon rider. Look how, I mean, it's all going so well for him. Hopefully we don't come crashing to the ground like Icarus having flown too close to the sun. But yes, as I said, what are our goals for this campaign? Well, for Lord Tion, the goal is to serve Prince Coron or Corin faithfully here. Potentially, we're going to see how things play out with Daemon and the Stepstones. You can see he's actually attacking. He's attacking Triarch Kostos of the Three Daughters and the Stepstone's three daughter drag. He's taking the Stepstone. He is not going to be, joining Viserys here like he does in canon. No, Daemon wants to be king in his own right. So he's trying to subjugate the Three Daughters. That's going to lead to some awesome scenarios. We're going to see how Dorne plays into all this. We've got the Iron Throne. We've got the potential for a Dance of Dragons here. As Rhaenyra is still the heir, but there's Prince Aegon now, so who knows what's going to happen there. Not to mention all the other politics within the Seven Kingdoms. We've got the Tullys, the Lannisters, the Arryns, the Starks, Greyjoys, Tyrells, of course, Baratheons. Who knows how this is all going to play out, but I'm very excited to see, and I'm very excited for this playthrough. I'm very, 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 very excited to get into some dragon battles, but that is all going to be in future episodes. So until then, Wanderers, if you want to see more of this series, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so you do not miss any episodes when they come out, because they will be coming out, rest assured. But until then, Wanderers, thank you so much for watching. I am excited to explore this series with you. I hope you are excited to watch it. Until the next one, thank you for watching.